On this episode of Fish Warrior,
we have a run. Fish on. Nice fish.
Jakob takes on an armor-plated adversary with a deadly reputation. And a mouthful of razor-sharp fangs.
Try to go fast.
The alligator gar.
It's coming up. Be careful!
It's a classic showdown in the Deep South. A test of will, Texas style. This is Jakob Wagner, extreme angler. With multiple world records under his belt, he's tracking down the planet's biggest river Goliaths.
Go, 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 it's a big fish.
On a mission to find and protect the last remaining freshwater giants. Nothing can stop the Fish Warrior. Extreme angler Jakob Wagner's traveled to the world's most remote and exotic locations in search of the biggest fish. But this expedition brings the Czech Republic native to a destination more foreign than any other. Houston, Texas.
I'm a little bit lost here. It's really a huge town, and I wouldn't expect that I will be able to find one of the freshwater giants so close to Houston, Trinity River. I'm in Texas because I would love to catch alligator gar. It's one of the biggest freshwater fish in the United States. I really like alligator gar because it's prehistoric fish. The body of this animal looks like a fish, and the head and especially the teeth of this fish, it looks like alligator.
In hopes of locating a true giant, over 100 pounds, he's enlisted the help of world-renowned alligator gar fishing guide, Kirk Kirkland.
I'm Captain Kirk Kirkland, guide here on the Trinity River for alligator gar. I've been doing this for about 15 years.
He's amazing fisherman and amazing guide, and he is the best alligator gar fisherman and guide in the world.
Jakob and Kirk set out on the Trinity River.
Let's get a big one!
Home to venomous copperheads and deadly American alligators, the Trinity winds more than 700 miles from northern Texas into the Gulf of Mexico. Its deep, murky waters provide the perfect habitat for alligator gar to hide and hunt.
The alligator gar is an extremely fast predator. He's able to chase down almost any fish in the river. They're really one long, big muscle connected to a really big, powerful tail.
With tough, bony skulls and armor-like interlocking ganoid scales, these carnivores can grow as long as 10 feet, weighing more than 300 pounds.
The shape of alligator gar, it's like a torpedo with huge fins. The jaws are really powerful. They have a lot of huge, incredibly sharp teeth.
Two complete sets of upper fangs ensure prey are immobilized, with no hope of escape. Alligator gar anatomy has changed little since the time of the dinosaurs, when its early ancestors inhabited many parts of the world. But today, this prehistoric fish can only be found in North America.
They're one of the last remaining dinosaurs we have left on Earth. And, you know, we're lucky to have them right here in Texas.
But Jakob's not sure huge alligator gar can still be found in Texas.
Alligator gar is absolutely amazing creature, and we have to protect these creatures because they are unique, and if we keep killing them here in Texas, we will kill them all.
He fears the biggest of the species may already be victims of the fish's rising popularity among sports fishermen. Smaller, younger gar may not survive long enough to grow into the mammoth predators Jakob seeks.
Is fresh bait always better, or it can be a little bit stinky?
No, fresh bait's always better.
Because some fish species like stinky bait.
Gar do not like old bait.
Yeah.
Perfect.
To catch an elusive fish in murky waters, the men use special equipment. Kirk's secret weapon? Bite alarms.
We set these rods on these European bite alarms. You set like 4 rods along the shore. You can spread your baits out further apart, and then you just set in the shade with a receiver. As soon as the fish pulls, we know which one's running.
Jakob sets his 4 rods along the bank. Using Kirk's radio receivers to listen for any sign of activity, the men move the boat into position.
Now we wait.
While waiting, Kirk gives Jakob an idea just how dangerous these predators can be.
I had a lady that got cut fishing with me. She had to have 65 stitches.
65 stitches.
Yeah, it cut her on the inside of the arm here, all the way down. And then I had another client that was holding a fish and dropped it on his leg, and it cut his leg open, and he had to have about 68 stitches. So they have some teeth, so you got to be careful.
The float is moving. The float is moving. Yep.
Hold on.
Alligator gar jaws are so tough and bony, it's nearly impossible to hook one in the mouth. Snagging one takes serious patience and skill.
Yep. Grab it. Good catch.
Okay. If you fish for any other freshwater fish on our planet, if you get a take, you can set the hook nearly immediately. But with alligator gar, it's a different story.
They'll stop, and they'll lay on the bottom, and then they'll swallow the bait. It's a lot safer to hook these fish deeper in the body than it is to try to hook them in the mouth, because a lot of times you'll hook the fish in the throat when you try to hook it shallow.
It takes the delicate touch of an experienced angler. Pull too soon, and he could harm the fish or lose the catch. Timing is everything.
Good job.
I'm going to jump. I really like fighting with alligator gar because it's extremely powerful fish, fast fish, and they jump like crazy. I'm going to jump. Sometimes they can jump even in the boat, so you have to be real careful. Whoa. Are you ready, Kirk?
A snout full of cutting teeth make landing the feisty alligator gar a tricky business. But Kirk has a trick to wrangle the fighting fish in true Texan style. He lassos it.
It's not a monster, but nice fish.
Kirk cuts the line, knowing the fish's powerful stomach acids will dissolve the small bronze hook in just about a week's time.
Do you see the 2 holes in the end of the nose?
These 2 holes.
Yes. This fish has a primitive lung. That lets this fish live in really low oxygen waters, so this fish has been able to survive where a lot of other fish would die.
An evolutionary advantage. Alligator gar have specially modified swim bladders, capable of absorbing oxygen outside of the water. But this remarkable trait can be a blessing and a curse.
Okay, he's ready to go.
Okay, goodbye. Thank you very much.
Further downriver, Jakob sees firsthand how the gar's air-breathing ability can also leave them dangerously exposed. Coming to the surface for air, alligator gar make easy targets for a controversial fishing method: bow hunting.
Sport fishing is fine, but we should think before we go bow hunting.
Bow hunting is a bane for catch-and-release fishermen like Jakob. Pierced by an arrow, a fish has no chance for survival.
You can see where is the problem with bow hunters, because if they see the fish on the surface, they can shoot them.
They love to bask in the sun. They love to come up and breathe air. That makes them vulnerable, you know.
In spite of discouraging signs, the species may be in trouble. Jakob and Kirk end the day still determined to find a truly giant alligator gar. On the second morning of the expedition, Jakob and Kirk team up with Texas Parks and Wildlife biologist Dave Buckmeyer, an alligator gar expert.
Morning, Kirk. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you been?
Again. Great. This is Jakob Wagner from Czech Republic.
Hi, Jakob.
Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Jakob wants to gain insight on local efforts to protect the alligator gar population.
Come on.
Dave works with local anglers to tag alligator gar, tracking the fish's growth and migration in hopes of safeguarding the species.
We need to know more about these fish and then also regulate anglers that pursue them. We push for that because that's the attention the fish need to actually be protected.
While alligator gar are not yet classified as an endangered species here in Texas, local wildlife officials are concerned about the fish's ability to survive and grow big. Under pressure from human development and too many fishermen unwilling to practice catch and release, the species may be in danger.
They haven't always been such a popular fish. Even biologists historically tried to eradicate gars from a lot of our systems with the thought that they had some impact on other desirable fishes of the time.
Alligator gar are now protected by Texas state law, limiting anglers to 1 gar per day. Still, it's unclear if this limit can protect the largest specimens.
We just need a little bit more information about how many